Good.
The people in my party fully understand that. They're running against me. For the most part, they have no poll numbers. I'm leading by a lot. They get it. They're trying to get publicity for themselves.
751, Big 550 KTRS. That is Donald Trump with Barbara Walters. Matt Dowd joins us, ABC News political analyst. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning. Great to be here.
So the question shouldn't be, is Donald Trump going to run as a third party? The question is somebody else going to run as a third party?
Yeah, I asked that question. I asked that question first thing this morning. I think that if you look at the field and the way it stacks up today, is Donald Trump has the highest likelihood right now of winning the GOP nomination. So the question really shouldn't be proposed to Donald Trump. It should really be proposed to everybody else who's way further down the polls and less likely to win the GOP nomination.
Are we seeing a new party evolve, or are we seeing the end of the Republican Party?
I think what we're seeing is a continuation and an acceleration of the disruption of the political status quo that exists in this country. I think that what's going on today is that we've had this duopoly that's existed for a long time, and I think we're on the latter stage of the dinosaurs. And I think that one of these parties, the Democrats or the Republicans, probably more so likely Republicans, something is going to change, and we're in a disruptive mode, just like we've been in our economy, just like we've been in the media. It's finally coming to politics, and I think Donald Trump is an accelerator of that process.
So you could see a situation where country club Republicans, for lack of a better word, the rhinos and the Clinton wing of the Democratic Party come together and form some type of coalition?
What I can see is if Donald Trump happens to win the nomination and Hillary Clinton wins the nomination, you're going to have the two most polarizing, unpopular candidates that exist today heading into a general election of the major parties. And I think in that context, that what's likely to emerge is another candidate or a third party independent that will, I don't know if they can win, but basically the people that are dissatisfied with Hillary, that are dissatisfied with Donald Trump, would come together and say there has to be an alternative. And I think this, whether it occurs and wins in 2016, I think is open question. It'll be hard, but I think what will happen is it'll set itself up for the future.
Many people in your business say that Trump ultimately will implode, and the real voters, as we get closer to Iowa and New Hampshire, will come out and they'll stop the madness. What do you say?
I say that's people in denial. I think Donald Trump represents a large segment of the Republican population. He's getting 25, 28, 30% of the vote in a 15-candidate field. When you look at sort of the votes by Iowa, New Hampshire, all the states, he's the leading candidate in nearly every single one of them. He's maintained this lead now for 4 months. And if you don't think he has the capacity to win this nomination, then you're just not looking at the reality of today. I don't think he's going to, but he's definitely the leading candidate. And if the odds were, and if the race was held today, he'd be the GOP nominee.
Here's what I don't understand about the Trump supporters. You tell them he can't beat Hillary. If you vote for him, you're guaranteeing a Hillary victory. They either don't believe you or don't care.
I think that's true. I think they either don't believe you or don't care. And I think they've watched people. I think part of the reason they feel that way is they've watched people say Donald Trump's going to fall. He's not going to last. Well, after his first press conference, he's done. After the second thing he said, he's done. They've watched that occur. His voters watched that occur, and it has turned out not to be true. So they're in this sort of reality zone of their own picture, and they just don't accept what people say is going to happen. And I think today, odds are that Hillary would win that race, but I don't think it's an impossible thing that Donald Trump could win a general election depending on the circumstances.
Hold on a second. Back up again. You get drug tested working for ABC, right? You actually think...
I'm as clean. I'm a monk. So don't worry about me.
You actually think that you see a scenario that is plausible that Donald Trump wins the presidency? I
think very unlikely, but plausible. I mean, if you think about the circumstances that could take place and the country's state of fear, if you think about that, if we were to have it, let's just give this, if we were to posit an awful incident to happen in October next year, Donald Trump's the GOP nominee, there's a terrorist incident, I wouldn't put it past a large segment of the country to sort of turn to something that they think is going to take it on in the best way. I think it's highly unlikely. It's possible.
Would Omarosa be his running mate?
I think Donald Trump has Donald Trump may say some outrageous things. I don't think he would do an outrageous thing like that.
Matthew Dowd, ABC News political analyst. Thanks for checking in, Matt.
Take care.
All right.
Always.
7:56, Big 550 KTRS.
They did it for us.